going to attempt to reclaim this movement, the NH36A, and probably sell the dial. The hands I'll keep, they're just SKX hands. I'm going to also do a date wheel disc swap. This has a white one. I'm going to reverse it to black, so everything's black in here. This has a black kanji wheel. So, this movement shouldn't be moving ideally. I wonder if I still might have, there we go. I believe this was the original stem in there to, put this in here so we can hack it. There we go. Oh, no? Strange. How come it doesn't hack? This is, I mean, where else would I have gotten this crown from? There we go. I don't want to wind it more. I'm just gonna get it so I can get this in position. This date just turned over. We should be able to pinch and remove that out all at once. I really should have filed this. These cheap things are rather coarse. Usually something like this is good enough. This is just a piece of sandwich bag that I cut out. So try to move the hands. Okay, here's the second hand. And there we go. And sorry if it's not in focus. I'm concentrating around the camera. Simple enough. And I'm gonna try to bag these and put them away somewhere safely. I guess I can. To stick them in here with my extra handset here from Yaboki's MM300 style hour-minute hand, which I actually customized with blue loom. It used to be probably super luminova or something green. Come on. Let's see if I can pick this up. And the other spread them out so hopefully nothing stains or sticks to each other. Try to set that safely aside somewhere for now. Alright, so back to modding this. We're going to take off the dial, which is pretty simple. Just fit this in between and carefully just lift it up off of the movement. All it is just held in with a couple of what they call feet on the back here. See, one right up there. Sorry for the focus. And one right up there. Just those two. Wow, these indices really, I guess it's stamped into it. I don't know, I thought they were placed, like applied. I'm not even sure how they made this dial. It's a really nice dial though. nonetheless. And I did modify it just to keep it clean. I took off the frame from the around that was printed around the white one that was printed around the opening there. As such, with a date wheel like this, you get black and white, and looking all around, that amount of white kind of matches the indices in terms of scale and shape, roughly. Versus if I left it white, as you can sort of see here against the background, it would have looked extra long for one of these indices. Or if it was black completely, it would have left a negative space here. So that's why I did this. And with this, and also removed the frame because it was a little distracting, didn't need it. Anyways, I gotta find the original dial. That could messed me up big time. I have to find the case for that. But for now, we'll set this aside. And then we're going to get into this. This could be a little tricky, so what you have to do here is, unfortunately, I need to remove the day disc out first so that I can get to the plate underneath that's holding the day wheel. And to do that, you need to get into this little guy here. There's a little, like almost like a C-clip. It doesn't take too much to pop it out, but you want to be sure this thing doesn't fly off anywhere, because it's going to be a pain in the ass looking for, especially if my eyesight isn't as good as it used to be. So what you need to do is basically, I think all you need to do is push it out. Let me see if I can get an angle on this for you. If it goes out of focus, my bad. I'm just concentrating on, maybe put your finger over it. Like just lift it up. I think that was it. I just needed to move it out of the way more. It's really odd how this thing fits. There you go. It just comes right off. And of course, I don't have my, hang on, let me pop. Okay, excuse the interruption here. So I'm just gonna carefully remove this. Let's just set it in here so make sure it doesn't go anywhere too far. And I'm just gonna carefully lift. I guess it's just gonna fall out, isn't it? No? You don't want to scratch it. Just put it down here. Okay. That's pretty simple. And then this is the tricky part. I think basically I have to remove this plate that's holding down the day wheel. See how those teeth are right under there? So if that's the case, there should only be 4 screws holding it down. Sorry about the focus. Again, let me zoom in for you. And you hear some screaming in the background. I'm just playing Halloween in the background. Yeah. Need something for atmosphere, huh? So there's one. Just carefully set that aside somewhere. I guess right by there will be fine. never removed a date wheel before, so I just quickly looked this up online for 7S26, sorry, movement, which is the movement prior to this one that's stock on a SKX that does not have hand winding or hacking, and so you just need to shake the thing to get it to run, and hopefully you be close enough in sync with time that you're setting it to have it be fairly accurate for you. And I think there is a way to kind of hack it again, even though it says it's not hackable. Some hand winding movements or some movements that say they aren't, you can just, when you're setting the time and you like rotate it a certain way, you'll notice that the second hand can stop or stall or even run backwards. And when that happens, you can kind of get it back in sync with the time that you're setting it to. And let's see, it looks like that plate's loose. Let's just try to grab that and set it aside here, and there you go. I don't think there's anything else holding this movement down, or the date wheel. So what we're going to do is pop open the look at how stupid this thing is taped up. I really do not want to mess with that too much. I know I opened it before. Here it is. I don't want to get too much of this tacky tape on my hands. It might transfer over to the part. Here we go. Genuine part from Seiko 0878207. At least it better be genuine. So anyways, this would be part 2 if I haven't written it already in the title of this video of my SKX mod, the Firefly, what I call it. And basically I already sent the case in and the case back to get Cerakoted. Hopefully I'll get that back. It's Sunday. I should hopefully have it back early next week. And I might try to videotape that. Me going there and just introducing the person who did it. He does a lot of firearms, and then show me taking the part. Hopefully it's been done well. Otherwise I'll be cussing. Alright, so I think you just, let's see here. Does it line up a certain way? I don't even know. I guess it's right here, this cog. Let me see if I can zoom up into. Don't drop in this part. It's gonna go sending things flying everywhere. Sorry if it's not that sharp, huh? But I think right in there, I think there's a set of teeth that it needs to, that's the only thing I can see that would advance the date. Unless there's something on this spot here. Here. Let's just tickle it. If I push it back in, it's second position. This usually advances the date. I guess it can't because it needs the something on the date. Interesting. There's something that's needs to engage it. I wonder if it's on the back side of. Okay. Let's just hack this so hopefully everything will line up once I put it back. So let me zoom out a little bit. Jeez, I need to get a better camera. But on a budget, so remove this and we'll just set it to the side. grab the new one and just drop it in. Oh, shoot, I saw something move out of place here. Hopefully that wasn't anything serious. Let's drop this in. My God, there's a bunch of pieces that are moving loose here. That's a little bit scary. I think once I get everything locked down, it'll be fine. It better be. It's pivoting off right here. Jeez, hopefully this sucker here isn't. I saw that move, so hopefully it's supposed to be loose like this. God damn it. This is the same size as this wheel, isn't it? I want to say I feel like it's a little bit smaller for some reason. Let me just double check something here. Okay, there is a little gap around the edge. I suppose there should be. But I feel like this is us. Oh my God, what the hell? I totally did not expect that to move. Oh, crap. I think this was locked in to this spot here. And this should line up something like that. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I really did not expect everything to get loose like that. So let's try to get this done. Hopefully I didn't completely jack it up. Okay. This should fall back in. Something like that. Hopefully, as soon as I put the screws in, they'll tidy everything down. That should be right. I'm gonna just carefully, it's like putting on like lugs back on your wheels of your car. You kind of do like a cross pattern to try and torque it all down correctly. Jeez. Sorry, it's in the shadows. I do not want to break my concentration too much to fix the video here. Okay, I think I got it. So yeah, anyways, you go across, sort of, that action of the way you bolt it back down, screw it back down, should ensure that everything fits back evenly as it should. Yeah, it's tough. I don't have the steadiest of hands and dexterity that I used to. Okay. This should be right. I can't imagine it being that hard to put back a movement. It's like, well, if I goof up, I guess I can send it to somebody who might know more to fix it for me, but, I don't believe it should be that hard. It's just a freaking day wheel. Okay, looks like everything is locked back into place, so I'm just gonna, I didn't tighten everything down yet. I was like, just enough to get the pieces lined up, make sure before I commit to locking it down. So I see how I'm doing this. This one, then go back across here, and then back here. I don't have 5, but you just kind of work your way around. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I suppose I don't need to over tighten it. I don't suppose this will still work if I put the second position and why is it so stiff? I don't want to accidentally engage something that what if the wheel snaps, right? I don't think I should turn that hard. Ah, jeez. This one will turn the day wheel, that's right, because see, when you go the other way, you go this way, that changes the date, because it engages that wheel, the day rather, and then if I go back, this shifts back and moves this, tries to move this part, but it seems rather stiff. I don't think I should force it. God damn it. Alright, let me try this. Maybe I don't have to completely remove this shit, but at least loosen it up so maybe I can get enough to maybe lift it up. Need to shift it a little. This is fine. See, there we go. I think, right? Why is it flicking though? Is it not completely engaging for some reason? There we go. This goes this way. There we go. Switch. Okay. It looks like that's working. Hopefully you caught that. So I'm going to lock it down now. Yeah, you would definitely want to. Jeez. There we go. There we go. This, see, I don't have that resistance anymore. Something wasn't working right before, but this is right now. Hopefully it is actually lined up, it's not off. We'll see once I replace the date. So what we're gonna do here is stick this guy back in here. Oh no. Let me get some power back in here before this thing dies on me. Okay. Just have to plug the power back in to make sure it's getting charged here. Alright, so I'm going to try to put the day wheel back in, the Kanchi day wheel. And hang on a second. Okay. Trying to stick this wheel back on, but I'm a little confused. You know what? It doesn't matter. I thought maybe there's like a. I'll show you what the hell is on the back. Yeah, there is a cog in the back that engages with this little white wheel. You see there? If I can get that angle to show it to you. It's kind of dark, but trust me, it's there. Maybe at certain angles you can see it. There it is. You can sort of see it there. Anyways, you just drop that in. And right there. This one is orientated for the SKX, where you have the obviously the crown at the 4 or 345, as I like to actually specifically call it. It's not really exactly at 4. And this is the tricky part, sticking this little guy back on there. Oh, jeez. Okay, this should be set there. I gotta find this. I get this out of the way before I lose it. Gotta find, make sure it's set down. Right there. Sorry, you can't really see it. But I was adjusting the day wheel so I could find the spot where it feels like it's going right into the gears underneath and sitting flat. Otherwise, it's not really gonna make it in there too well. Jeez, it's like hard to fit back in here. I forgot how I did it. I originally changed this. I might have to get down low to see where the angle is. Hang on a second. Okay. Tend to a little accident. Not with this, but something else. Jeez. careful I don't flick this into oblivion. I don't have a good angle at this, so if you can't see this, I apologize. Let me boost up the brightness at least. As much as I can. Oh, jeez. Oh my god, exactly what I did not want to happen. Luckily, I found that stupid piece. How the heck did I stick this back on last time? I honestly do not recall. I feel that shoving this in from the side is not going to be the best idea. Way to do this. Or, you know what? Duh. I just had a revelation. Why don't I stick it? Top like this again. Push it down. Don't drop on this piece. It'll totally send this thing flying. Is that it? I feel like it's like a loose though. I don't think it's set in a... See, look, doesn't that seem like a loose? I guess it's not going anywhere and it's not lifting up. I guess that's it. The best thing once you get that C-clip out is to slip it directly on top and just push it down, and it should just click into place. It seems a little, I'll show it to you here. It seems a little loose, but it's not down. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't fall out. So what I'm going to do is first just blow out any crap that might have gone on top. And I'm not going to put a dial on because I have to do some work on the dial. But let's just check the movement. It's hacked. Push it all the way back in. Okay, that's the second position. First. Okay, there we go. Oops, okay, sorry. So just checking this out again. So if this is at the 4, it should line up with the 21, I guess. Well, why don't I just check it right now by putting this movement back in, the dial rather. And if it lines up where it's supposed to, there we go. Let's temporarily check it with this. So you can see date, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And it's aligned correctly. Oh, it isn't like a little bit off or anything. It looks like it's just like the shadow play. Cool. Whew. Alright. Put that set back. Let's take out. So, this took longer than expected. It's just that tricky fine components, but that's how I did it to make sure everything lines up. So this should be good to go in the new movement once I get around to it. What now? Set this aside. I'm going to work on the dial next. That's got to be customized before I can place it onto here, and then the handset too, which they will need to be customized as well. I want to reloom them to blue. Yeah, so stay tuned for, I guess technically part 3 would be me picking up the Cerakoted case just to show it. Unless I get to the dial modification first, then that might be part 3, but we'll see as we go. Anyways, hopefully this was longer than expected, but hopefully it was informative enough if you're attempting to do something like this. Just a quick recap. Once you have your movement, you probably want to change the date and or date wheel. You have to remove it by that center C clip that's around the, I guess this stem column at the base right there. And I just stuck a screwdriver and kind of turned it or lifted it up. And once that clears the post high enough, it should just be able to be pulled out or fall off. But I'd be careful about how you do it. Try to keep your finger over it perhaps as you're doing that, so that in case it does hit a spot where it wants to spring off of that post for some reason, because it's basically like a mini spring, because it's just a C. It could go to somewhere. It would suck if you had carpet. It would be even harder to find than hardwood floor, which I have. And so once that's off, you can remove the date wheel would come off, and you can swap it with a different style. And depending on what orientation this crown is on your watch, is it 3 or 4? You want to make sure you have the appropriate day disc wheel set up to line up for the 4 o'clock position like this. Otherwise, if you had some that's for 3, it wouldn't be off. The date wheel on the outside doesn't matter. There is no 3 or 4 o'clock position. It just happens to work out that it'll line up either way. So if you need to do that, there's that plate underneath the date wheel, and you saw me remove the 4 screws and then lift that plate off, and then that'll give you access to remove easily just pull, use tweezers or whatever and pull off the old day wheel and switch the color if you want, and then just reverse the process. Put the plate back, put the 4 screws. Before you tighten them down, test the date aperture, function, make sure it is clicking over smoothly or normally as it should. I had resistance at first, so I think it was somewhere wasn't misaligned, so I just loosened that plate up by just not totally undoing all the 4 screws, but just loosening up so that the plate might be able to lift up a bit if this thing needs to be, as I was turning this to see where it would catch and actually turn properly, the date wheel disc. Once I found that, I stopped and just tightened the screws back down just to make sure that plate underneath is locked. And then put the date wheel back on, date disc, and then make sure it's lined up right, of course, as well. You'll know as you're rotating it, it'll eventually sit flat, flush with the date disc and everything. Then you know it's in the right spot. And then when you do that, then you just slip that C-ring or clip back over that column, and don't try to do it from the side. It doesn't work. You're going to likely have it spring off into God knows where. The best thing is to just slip it right back over the column and then push it down, and it should just click in and lock into place. That's the easiest way to do it without risking far less chance you're gonna laterally push from the side and then we just go shoot off somewhere. You should just slip it over. It's kind of loose, but once it hits the bottom, near the bottom, you just push it down all the way, and it should just go into that little fine groove that C clip is supposed to lock into, and that holds everything else in place. And that's basically it. And then you can just, I would test the function again. Make sure you have the right crown and stem. Then pull it to the second position and see if it changes as it should on both counts. Oh, geez, you know what? That was stupid of me to do this so many times. The reason why is I don't know the position of crap. Anyways, that's one thing you gotta keep in mind. Don't do it too much because you don't know the position of the handset when you first. You probably don't know the position of it when you first put everything back together. If it's between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. I believe it was before that, if I recall, where I last aligned the hands. It was, I don't know if it's 3 a.m. Actually, it was past it because I remember the date clicked over, and I just basically kept turning it till it was lined up, I think, at about 8 or 7 o'clock. I'll look back, but I don't think it's moved since then, so it should be fine. It shouldn't be in that red zone. So that's something to keep in mind too. Keep a note of where you last had the hands aligned. Try to pull it off, I suppose, when it's outside of that 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. zone. So then when you put things back in and you're checking the date, you're not flicking it around in that red zone, which could, they say, damage the movement or the turnover date function or something like that. Alright, that's long enough. I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks.